I'm Lee Herbert, and this is what my hair looks like when it hasn't been cut in 5 months. But that's not why we're here. Today I'm going to give you an overview of the SLR microprime cine lenses for the E-mount cameras. Now, you can get them just on their own, or you can get them in a set. You can also get this case, which is a nice little case for them. The thing that I like about the case is, back in the day when I used to travel a lot and used to fly a lot, weight was always a big concern because you want to keep your carry-on as light as possible, but obviously you don't want to put your lenses or your cameras in the checked-in baggage because that could get damaged or lost or what have you. So this case is actually really useful because what I can do now is I can put these microprimes in this case, put that in a suitcase, pack that in the hold, and I don't have to worry about having to carry them in my carry-on. So it gives me more space to carry batteries and things in my carry-on. So this case is actually really useful just from that point of view alone, but also to keep everything organized and so on. An interesting little quirk of the case, which I like but kind of catches me out every now and again, is in the latches. So most cases like this, the latch, you flick up or you flick down and then you lift it up. Whereas with this one, there's actually these little push downs here. So you push down and then you lift up. It's a lot easier, and I think actually a better design for the kind of latches for these types of hard cases. But because it's different from all the other cases, I sometimes get confused. I go to this case and I go to, why is it not lifting up? And it doesn't work. So as you can see here, the lenses are very well protected and well padded in the case. Let me just turn that so it looks better. So there you go. There's the lenses in the case, all well packed. It comes with the foam, obviously pre-cut. And now let's look at the actual lenses. Now, I first saw these lenses at NAB 2018, and I was really impressed. Back then, I think they were $7.99 US each, and now they're $5.99 US each. And for $5.99, you're getting a fantastic lens. So let's first look at the differences between a still lens and a cinema lens. This is a Cine Prime. So the main differences between a cinema lens and a still lens, and I'm not going to go into the whole detail, just give you an overview, is to begin with, the cinema lens is all manual, so no autofocus, it's all manual focus, manual aperture. Also, the aperture ring is what's called declicked, which means that as you adjust the aperture ring, it doesn't click from one stage to the other. So to begin with, the reason why that's good is with video you don't hear that, so it doesn't click on the actual audio of the camera. But also it means that if you do want to change your aperture while you're shooting, that change is going to be gradual and smooth, whereas on a stills lens, you might see just little sort of jumps in your exposure if you're using your aperture to adjust your exposure. So that's why declicked is really good on that. And then with the focus lens, what I like about this, and you do get this on some still lenses, but I really like it on these, is that the focus ring actually gives you some tension. So when you're changing your focus, if it's too loose, you might be going like a focus pull from here to there, and as you get there, because it's so loose, it kind of just goes over a little bit further. Whereas with this, because it's got tension, as I stop, it stops. And so you know that when you're changing your focus and your rack focus from one to the other, when you stop, it stops. So that's really nice, and I like that little bit of tension, that when you're shooting, you get that nice little bit of pull. The other big difference between still lenses and cinema lenses is the breathing. Now, breathing is that when you change your focus, because of the way that the optics work inside of lens, when you change your focus, your composition almost changes a little bit. It looks like you're sort of zooming in or zooming out a little bit, and that's why it's called breathing. It's almost like so still lenses do that a lot. And it's not an issue with still lenses if you're shooting photos, because you focus, take the photo, refocus, it adjusts just a little bit, you recompose if you need to, you take the photo. And it's so minuscule that most of the time you don't notice. But if you're doing video, and if your camera is still, and you're changing your focus from one thing to another, you're going to notice on the edges of your frame that it kind of does that. Cinema lenses do it a lot less. I say less because none of them cancel it completely. There's always going to be a little bit of breathing. And with these, you do get breathing, but you get less breathing than you would with a still lens. In terms of build quality, I really like them because they're a good Gazunta piece of metal. Like it's a good weight. I think they're 700 grams in weight, which is pretty decent in terms of weight. They're all pretty fast. So this is the 25mm, and this is a T1.5. You look at the 50mm, and that is a T1.2. Now, generally, you're not going to shoot wide open on them because they're not going to be sharpest or best at their widest open. But being able to get them down to about 2.2, and they're still really beautiful lenses, really nice. I really like the compactness of them. So, if I just pop this on my camera, and again, always have it facing down so you try and avoid getting as much dust as possible in there when you're putting on the lens. And again, if I'm running around with my camera like this, it's a nice small package. You're getting some beautiful optics, and it's not this giant thing on the front that make people sort of look and go, "Oh, that's a big lens. You must be a professional," which is totally untrue. You could be a professional with an iPhone and still get great images, but that's neither here nor there. So nice little setup. This is the Sony a7 III. Really easy to use. Set up, away you go. I'm quite excited because I've actually had most of these for almost a year or two, and I've been using them, got some great stuff out of them. I've had the 25, the 35, the 50, and the 75, but I recently got the 12mm. So this is pretty cool because a 12mm, that's really wide. It gives you some really great options. So for example, when I'm going, this is a T2.8, so it is a bit slower than the others, but I mean 2.8 is still pretty darn decent. And again, did I mention they're $5.99 each? I mean, $5.99, $5.99, $5.99, $5.99, $5.99. What I paid for the entire set, you would normally pay for a single Cinema Prime. So the quality for the price that you're paying is really, really good. They're not perfect, but again, $5.99, a lot more quality than you would expect for $5.99. As I was saying, the thing that I'm excited about with the 12mm, I'm really getting into astrophotography and doing time lapses of, the Milky Way and all that kind of stuff. So having a 12mm lets you get those really wide, expansive sort of things. So I'm really excited about using this on some time lapses, because with time lapses, you never want the focus to change anyway. So yeah, that's a very quick overview of the micro primes from SLR-Magic, and I'm going to do a more detailed look at the 12mm in a little bit once I've had a bit of a chance to play with it. So as usual, if you liked, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe. If you didn't like, subscribe anyway, because, well, maybe don't subscribe, but you know what I mean. And if you didn't like, please let me know why in the comments. And yeah, looking forward to getting out with the 12mm and doing a bit more to show you what it can do. Catch you later.